Welcome back to the Youth Business Lounge as we continue to discuss the sustainable solutions for the youth in agribusiness. Of course, today we are delighted to have the liaison officer of Enabled, who continues to give us insights on how the youth can continue to upscale in terms of the agribusiness sector. Now, before we broke off, of course, we were discussing how we can do away with middlemen in the agriculture sector. So, let's continue our delightful discussion. Somebody had highlighted on how we can do away with middlemen. What do you have to say about that, Madam Becky?
Honestly, I think we cannot do away with middlemen. But what I can think, or what I suggest, that the youth can act or can play a better role as a trusted middleman, because it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't really take anything or any effort for these youth that are just docked within the markets and ready, waiting for the farmers who are going to bring their produce, or the farmers who are comfortably seated at the farm and waiting people to come and determine their prices. Their produce. So the youth can become the interlinkages between the farmers and the end markets. Yes. That can only be done if the youth really understand what is agribusiness. And they can also understand the hustle in agriculture. So if they understand the hustle in agriculture, that is the only way they can become better middlemen. And they can only do that if they also fully participate in some of the agricultural activities, such as maybe market research, because agriculture needs market research. Who are the target customers? What is the trend? What the farmers want? What products are of demand? And when are the products highly demanded? And when are they scarce? So that feedback is given to the farmers, and the farmers can react depending on the market survey. So if the market survey is done well, then from the findings, identifying what the problem is, how they are going to solve the problem, and what methodologies are they going to use to make sure that they produce what the market needs. And this is these are some of the things that the youth can't do alone. And these are things that the farmers cannot do alone. So we both need each other. So that is why we need to call it agribusiness. So we cannot eradicate middlemen fully, but we can have better middlemen who can be trusted youth.
During our discussion within the break, we talked about awareness among the farmers. Still coming back to middlemen, what are the action points of not only us having better middlemen among the youth and maybe involving the youth? What are those action points that I'm going to do this and it will give me this?
First of all, like for the trained youth and farmers we have, at the end of the training, they're supposed to come up with a bankable business plan. And all that is within their business plans. And if you have set targets, marketing strategies that you're going to use in your business plan, and you typically follow them as per your business plan, you cannot go wrong. Because you already identified where the distribution channels are, who are your competitors, you know the SWOT analysis, you know the strength, your weakness, the threat, and whatever. So if you follow that path over the roadmap in your business plan, and you don't divert funds, then you cannot go wrong. Because normally our business plans are reviewed by trained youth, then the alumni of the IYA, then the business plans are then sent to the business development officer in Ibadan. So he's a qualified business development officer. He does the financial review. Then we will definitely tell if you're going to break even, if you're going to make profit or loss. So if we have that profit and loss analysis, then if the business is viable and it's going to be profitable, you'll make it. We will give you a go ahead. If it's going to operate in loss, we will advise you maybe think for another business. And another thing, if we realize that maybe the business requires more capital than what you have, we may advise you do a venture.
You first work?
Business. No, you might venture like a joint venture business, or you might have a group whereby you can add resources and have a seed capital. After having a seed capital, you will start small. Then in the due course of starting small and being monitored and providing technical backstopping, we will be able to link you to Equity Bank that is giving agricultural loan.
Free loans without collateral.
Yes.
I had to speak that with
This
drink.
is how it is. It is a grant from the MasterCard Foundation.
Yes.
It is a program that is initiated by African Young African Works is a project. That is,
foundation.
Funded by the MasterCard Foundation. Here in Uganda, it is under Equity Bank. So Equity Bank is giving a soft loan to trained youth by Enabletad. I don't know if there are other youth that is also giving, but so far for us we have over 450 youth that have acquired loan from Equity Bank without collateral. But the collateral is the assurance that the group exists. It is a registered group. It has a bank account as a group. It has a constitution. It is known. The location, the address, because most youth will come. Okay, you give them the money,
and they run.
The next day they will shift. Maybe from Chazanga to Kampala. How are you going to trace them? So it is the group leaders that will acknowledge that we know Samali. Samali is our treasurer, and she is maybe born in this area, and she can be able to like pay back. That is something that maybe somebody that knows you well might even be knowing your capacity of saving, because they have
they know you, they do with you.
So you cannot ask for 3 million when your weekly saving is 2,000.
1K.
So they will just call you and tell you something. No, So it is something that is between you and your group. It is an agreement. People who know you, people who will advise you, and they'll even know that you say you want to venture into poultry, and you even don't have a penny house in your home. So they might say, I think cattle is better for you. So yes.
So there is a meme.
How does someone get into
Enabletad
life and the opportunities of Enabletad?
Enabletad has we have a compact. It is called Youth in Agri-Business. It is called Youth Incubation. Under Youth Incubation, we have 3 phases. We have a short term, we have a mid term, and we have a long term. A short term, for example, my brother Clinton may have his business, but he has identified that he's a poor financial manager. So he comes to Enabletad, and he only wants one session or one component for financial management. Or record keeping, or maybe he may only want financial discipline or financial literacy. Those are units within financial management. So we will talk to him. We do it for free of charge. We don't charge any persons for any service, because this is a project funded by African Development Bank. And the African Development Bank sources, or the money comes from African countries. This is our money coming from the tax. Maybe your grandfather, your uncle, your dad, your aunt is paying, and it is the tax you're going to find in the nearby future when you start business, because you have to pay URA, TIN number, and everything. So this is money that is helping you to educate you and to acquire knowledge and skill. So Enable Track does not charge you for any services. So we have that short-term incubation. It can be between 3 weeks to 1 month. Then we have a mid-term, whereby we have people that are already in business, but they maybe have failed in that business and want to venture in another business. That can be from 2 months to 3 months. We don't pay, but we can give what we call, like, we can give tasks.
You don't pay like the person who comes,
or monthly, or because somebody can come that they told us to come. They're going to, you know, youth always have higher expectations. And the expectations are, I came, I knew you're going to employ me. That is one thing. I came, I knew you're going to pay me. That's the other. Another thing, somebody comes, maybe she thinks that that camera is worth 10 million. I will snatch it and take it with me and sell it. Those are some of the dynamics that the youth have. But you know, we work with the youth, and we can find some unique value proposition in everybody. And what we want is, we don't want the weakness in the youth, but we are looking in that uniqueness in the person we are training. And we have found some of the youth are very unique. And somebody has done journalism, but is very good at marketing. And you will find this person is doing it so well. You find somebody is a doctor by medicine, and somebody is doing ICT very well. So that is the uniqueness that somebody has not identified in them, that Enable Tat identifies. And you can also identify yourself from working with peers. So during that incubation period, we can identify that maybe you failed in poultry, but you can do piggery. Or maybe you failed in small livestock, but you can do crop production or crop management. You can even become a consultant. So those are things that you can identify in the short term. Then for the long term, these youth from the university that maybe think, once I get out of the university, I've done my internship, the next thing I am going to learn on a big job, and after learning on a big job, I am going to maybe find a postman, and I'm taken away in maybe I'm a citizen.
Yes.
But as things go around, things don't become
Some of you can relate.
the way you want. So for us, we target especially the youth that are from the universities and haven't gone down there.
And
So we get them along the way. We tell them that there is also this option. If the other high expectation doesn't meet your expectation, you can
join.
Then you might find some of them say, no, I even don't want to waste my time. I've already identified what I can do. So we put them on board, we train them for 3 to 9 months. Some of them are retained and they are working in the Youth in Agri-Business office, while others help us to train other youth in different locations. As I said, the IYA alumni. Then we find others are taken by other organizations, while others have been taken up for higher education. Some of them have gone for masters, some of them have gone for their PhDs, because they see the need to go
bigger with
How old is the person doing the PhD? 26? 20?
No, this is what I'm saying. If you have left the university with your degree, you come to the incubation. Then when you come to the incubation, you see that maybe I'm holding a bachelor's. But I would do better than this if I have a master's degree.
Because me, I'm
then you
coming.
go for a master's degree. Then if you come back to the incubation and you see you have the master's degree, but you would do better than
With a
what you are.
PhD?
You go for a PhD.
Wow.
From
Dr.
because normally
Tamale.
we are working, because we are working in IIT, we are normally working with researchers, Dr. George Mahopu, Dr. Bridges, Dr. Sanginga. You're always talking with doctors. So also your mindset is changing that I can become a doctor.
Yeah, and
one
it's
day you
beautiful.
become one.
Yeah, from what you've said, Miss Becky, one thing I've noticed is that with agriculture, since we have the beautiful soils here in Uganda, we can beat unemployment like so well. So sometime back in the earlier on in the conversation, you talked about mitigating soil erosion. There's one thing we can't do away without: climate change. Climate change has affected many farmers in our country today. So what is Enabled like trying to do? What are some of those basics you could give some farmers out there when it comes to climate change?
Thank you so much. Like I said, we are working with most of the most experienced organizations in specific food commodities. So, working with the most experienced organizations or compact leaders, we are addressing the challenge of climate change by practicing climate smart agriculture.
Yes.
Whereby we are trying to make sure we plant in lines.
Yeah.
We tilt, we do soil tilting. We tilt the soil, whereby we plant in ridges. We make sure we don't what do I call it? We don't grow things anyhowly. We specify.
It has to be a certain order.
Yes, we have to concentrate on a specific food commodity. If it is cassava, we can take it through along the agricultural food value chain: production, processing, then value addition. So, for example, currently, TAT is upscaling to seed production. So we are trying to train our farmers so that if they produce quality seed, they can have it sorted, packed, and they are going to sell it back to the producers, the agro producers. So we are working with agro dealers. So the agro dealers are helping the farmers so that we can have quality seed. So for them, as they produce, then the agro dealers will have another section that will do the sorting, grading. Then they will maybe take it for treating. Then from treating, they will then package it, then sell it back to the farmers.
The answer is really interesting about the climate smart agriculture. But apart from Equity Bank, what else is the private sector, or what do you think the private sector should do? Because it's something that is actually contributing most to our GDP right now. So what should the private sector do?
I think first of all the government. Let us first look at the government before we look at the stakeholders.
Private sector.
The government is really most of the African governments are trying to address the problem of unemployment, low productivity, and they are also looking at the economic growth. And with the help of TAT as a project, first of all we are looking at promoting and improving nutrition and eradicating malnutrition and poverty. How are we doing? How is TAT being that? I told you we are upscaling. First of all, we have variety crops like high iron-rich beans, whereby they help in iron, especially for young children and expectant mothers. We are also looking at the fortified maize. We are also looking at the fortified cassava.
Are they GMOs?
No. What is the GMO?
Genetically modified plants.
Organisms. And actually,
I think
we're going to talk about it.
I think we can only leave that for the scientists.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of research within that.
Okay.
And because we are, I'm representing IIT, and we have researchers, I cannot become a spokesperson
Person for that GMO maker.
Yes, because for me, I'm only based on agribusiness.
Yeah.
So I think we can improve malnutrition problems
Through those foods.
and we can also improve nutrition. We can also eradicate poverty with the help of the government. For example, now in Uganda we have a project that is funded by the PMU together with the European Union, and it's initiated by IITA in the northern Uganda, and the purpose is also to promote food and nutrition. Another thing that the government is also doing, they're also giving support in terms of input, seed, fertilizer. They are also giving communal land to farmers. But the only thing that farmers are not well positioned. If you're not well positioned, you cannot receive anything from the government. Let's talk about the this money that has just come. The Myoga, yes. That money for the Myoga is money that is within the government and it is within the circulation.
Yes.
But most of the farmers don't even have a business plan. And those are some of the requirements that are required. Some of the groups are not even registered. Some of them don't even have anything that is started. So when you give them the money, they're automatically going to misuse it. They're going to divert it to school fees. Some of the men are even going to marry a third wife. And especially for the youth, you know what youth want.
Yeah.
Somebody will just go down and start buying trendy clothes. Somebody will buy an iPhone or an iPad. Because, you know, so I think we need to train them more. We need to create awareness, especially on what is needed. If somebody really knows what is required to start up a group.
Well, it has been a very exciting and educating conversation. One of the things I've picked out from this conversation is personal development. Before you even want that much money, do you have the ability to control your financial temperature? Before you buy an iPad, an iPhone out of our money, taxpayers' money. Other than that, it has been this for the week, and we're actually going to have them again. Yeah.
I think I speak on behalf of our viewers and even our guests and everyone here when I say this conversation has been so amazing. We have learned several things that have actually built our knowledge in terms of agribusiness. We have learned so much from Enabled. Thank you so much. But for the purpose of our viewers, last time we had a guest who actually left a question for you, madam. And that question was, how can the youth out there mitigate risks or challenges in their business? And I think now you're going to answer it in the line of agribusiness. I think if you can answer that, we can continue to wind up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the youth can mitigate risk, especially if most of the businesses are not insured. But we need to insure. We need to insure, especially if you have a team you're working with. You need to follow the risk and safety policies. So, and it's not only with the youth. Most of the businesses, people are doing them legally without knowing that maybe there are policies that they should abide by. Not until a problem lands into your business. That is when you will get to know them, then you will start, where can I find a lawyer? But the lawyer would have come earlier and interpreted the policies for you before these things come to you.
That's right.
So I think that is the most thing we can, first of all, is to understand what the policies are and how can we work within the policies. Yes.
So what could be your question for the next guest? Any random question. You don't have to worry about the topic, just any question.
I think my question would be, especially for the people that are not within agriculture, how can we work together to ensure that we can take Africa or Uganda to the next level in terms of not waiting for donor fund, or when are the whites going to give us support, because I feel manipulation is something that Africans should forget by standing and becoming independent on our own. Thank you so much.
One great professor said that if you can change your mindset, you can change anything. So I believe that today we have changed our mindsets in terms of how we can upscale in agriculture and agribusiness. So we would like to conclude our show today, which is very sad because it has been amazing. Madam Becky had so much for us today. I don't know, I'm even sad that we had to cut it short. However, thank you so much for being a part of us today. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with the Youth Business Lounge. I remain OSJ Clinton Liberty, Youth Business Lounge.
Allow me to continue appreciating Miss Becky for her presence on this show, because you've not only inspired people out there, I've also been inspired. I've learned lots and lots of things from you. Thank you so much. I hope to everyone that is watching, you're learning these things. And like Clinton said, it's quite upset that we've cut her short. I think we should just invite her for the next episode. Thank you for watching.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, this is the beauty about the Youth Business Lounge is the fact that you get to know the few things one didn't know about business agriculture. The conversation we had today is one of the best I think I've had this week, and we're very happy to have you, Miss Becky. Really think we shall have her again. The ambience we're having as it is Onomo Hotel in Nakasero. This place is very, very awesome. It smells really. It smells amazing. The skin can change in days like
in minutes.
That's good to enter and
It has been a great episode. Keep watching the Youth Business Lounge. Keep following us on our social media platforms. Please, anything you need, we are here for you.
It has been great. Like I've told you, personal development is key. Money and all these things, I mean, they don't make sense until you've fixed you. So don't be the one going to run away with the funds. Don't be the one who is going to steal, the bad middleman who is going to be manipulating people. Be a good person with good intent. And then after, the rest will follow. I remain Nawagala Samari. It's the Youth Business Lounge. Keep it locked. 10 a.m. Saturday next week.